And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by the law offices of Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. You see their website right there on the screen. Any type of issue you might be having in a legal sense, the attorneys at Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell can help you out. And that's what you get. You get an entire team behind you. It's not just those guys that you see in the spots. It's all of the paralegals, all of the group and the staff. They all are very much involved in this. But the beauty is when you call them, when you have a legal question, you're looking for consultation, that comes only from an attorney. You're going to talk to a lawyer if you call Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. All right. Final segment here with Chuck, Bob, and Jimmy, and we want to remind you that if you follow us on Twitter, I will tell you later today when we post our overtime segment. We're doing this quite a bit now, where we ask an extra question. We spend another 5 or 6 minutes here on the set. We put that on sportsource.tv a little later. Today's question will be, how big of a help for Tennessee will staff continuity be? It is the first time since the 2006-2007 season that Tennessee hasn't lost a single coach, which is amazing. So we'll talk about how big of a difference that could be. That'll be on sportsource.tv later today. Follow us on Twitter, and we'll tell you when it's posted. Also, want to throw out congratulations to new UT basketball coach Donnie Tyndall, who was married this weekend. So congratulations to Donnie Tyndall. All right, I've got some numbers for you guys to look at. I went back through the 2012 season and looked at last year as well, 2012, 2013. And what we did was we studied to see how the fastest, let's go ahead and put this up if we could, went ahead to see how the fastest teams did in terms of offense and defense scoring points. And what you see, the fastest 7 offenses in the league in 2012 and 2013, that's 14 teams, all right? On average, they ranked about 6th or 7th in the SEC in terms of points scored per game. The 7 slowest offenses in the league in both of those years ranked on average about 8th in terms of points per game. Not a big difference in terms of speed, making a difference in where you rank in scoring. But look at defense, points allowed per game. The fastest offenses seem to hurt their defenses. Those teams ranked on average 10th in the Southeastern Conference in points allowed per game. They averaged 10th. Meanwhile, the 14 slowest teams of the last 2 years, those teams that were more ball control on offense, had better defenses. Defenses that ranked on average between 4th and 5th in points allowed in the league. Personally, I think somebody somewhere is eventually going to realize that these schemes hurt their defenses more than they help their offenses. That's my Don Quixote stance. Am I alone in that one? Am I tilting at a windmill? Or is this the wave of the future? Is speed really the name of the game for years and years to come?
I think you're not tilting at a windmill. I think you've got this one pretty much right. And here's what happens. You've got one of these speed offenses. They come out, they throw 3 incompletions. They go 3 and out. And they've ran maybe 12 seconds of game time off the clock. Your defense is back out there. It's not the NFL rules, the college rules. Every incompletion stops the clock until the next play is ran. And so I think sometimes you can hang your defense out to dry as far as being rested is concerned. So I think the slowdown will come back around at some point.
You buying the stats, or are they just
I'm
lies?
not buying the stats.
Okay.
And here's where I differ from you a little bit. Does it affect your defensive numbers? Absolutely. The hurry up, you got more plays. You do put your defense more at peril than you used to. But I looked at the win totals. That's what was more important to me. There's no way Auburn goes from 0-8 to winning the SEC without up-tempo. Missouri ran up-tempo. They won the East Division. Texas A&M ran up-tempo. They had a special quarterback. Their defense sucked, but they still won 20 games the last 2 years. So I think, yes, it does hurt your defense, but I think you end up winning games because of that scheme, because you're outscoring teams. So I'm going to say it's here to stay.
Okay, Chuck?
Well, I think it's going to be around for a while, and I'll tell you a perfect example is Gus Malzahn and what they're doing at Auburn, where they go from winless in the SEC one year to playing for the national championship the next. And, guys, look what more and more high school programs are going to. That's where you see the trickle down, and then I think you're going to see more and more going to college that way.
I just think eventually it's going to switch back. To me, it's sort of like the wishbone. That started out as 1 or 2 teams running it. It's like, wow, that's kind of a fad. Then it was everywhere. Everybody was running a wishbone or a veer or some spread some type of option.
And Carson Newman still is.
And then for the most part, it went away. Now you see the service academies doing it. Now you're back to a spread type of option. I think this could be something that sticks around another 10 years, 15 years. I think eventually there'll be something else that comes back through there. Yeah.
And I think the key's got to be to be really successful with this, you've got to have a particular kind of quarterback. And Johnny Manziel's a very good example of it. The kid down at Auburn's a very good example of it. But if you notice last year when Auburn had to start throwing, they didn't throw the ball all that particularly well. And I think you've got to really be really successful. You've got to have a particular kind of quarterback, and they're going to be in short supply.
Very good. Okay, when we see you next week, we're going to talk Tennessee practice. Then on the 17th, we're going to have all VFL show. We got a lot of stuff coming up on the Sports Source. See you right back here next Sunday.
The views expressed in this forum do not necessarily reflect those of WATE 6 or of 6 Sports. This has been a paid program.